So I want to talk a little bit more about divination because one of the most important things about divination is asking the right questions. So, but to ask the right questions, you have to really understand what divination is and what it does. So, like, what kind of questions it can answer. Because I mean, if you ask, "Oh, what are tomorrow's lottery tickets?" You're not going to get an answer, or you're not going to get an answer that works usually. So let's talk a little bit about what what how to ask the right kind of questions. Okay, so and I did a little digging around on the internet, and I wanted to show some. I wanted to discuss some articles that I found that I thought were on point and had some really good information, and I'm going to share links to the articles in the in the description. But the first one I found here is from listeningin.com, and I really like this article for its description of divination and how divination works, and it's right in here. I think this is spot on. Divination is the art of getting insight into the patterns and movements of meaning in life. And I think that's exactly what it is. So it's not seeing the future. It's not. So like I said, you're not going to see the winning lottery tickets or whatever. It's patterns and movements of meaning in life. So, and so like this is a form of dialogue, and this is kind of what I was talking about in my first video on the subject, the dialogue between the diviner and the wiser self. And the wiser self, I haven't really looked into exactly what they mean by wiser self, but I assume it means the same kind of thing that I mean when I say, like, the deeper the subconscious, the deep consciousness, the universe, that kind of thing. So it's but that's and that deeper self is certainly wiser. So let's see. It talks about types of tools. So here we go. Asking good questions. If you ask someone, did you go to the show last night, you're likely to get a yes or no in response. If you ask, what did you do last night, brief phrase. If you ask an open-ended question, says, tell me about your evening, you're less likely to limit or shape the response you get. So now this, I'm going to discuss this a little bit more in some of the other articles, in my response to some of the other articles too, but finally, should I do such and such? So basically she's saying that you shouldn't say, should I do blah, blah, blah. You should say, give me some insight into this question. What would be the most productive to focus on? Or, I don't know. I like the should I do, is this a good idea? But I don't know. I kind of vacillate between the two. It's like, this is what I plan to do. Give me some insight into what will happen if I do that kind of thing. Or, is this a good idea? Am I an idiot? So they're not right answer machines. See, I'm not sure I really agree with this part. The practice of divination is not a matter of checking in with the universe to see if you're living your life correctly, or to ask where your life will lead. It's a matter of gaining insight into the themes of movements and energy which you're participating at any given time. Well, no, I mean, I think a big part of it is, am I on the right path? A lot of times when I do divination, it's part of, like, devotional work. So devotional work and divination are two things that I think are pretty critical to a spiritual practice. And are you pleased with me? Kind of a thing. What can I do better? What can I do differently? What should I focus on? Those are all. It's all about improving your life. So I think that's bottom line what spirituality is all about. The great work is about improving our lives. So I'm not so sure I agree with that part, but reading for others, okay. But let me show you some of these other articles. This is from Pure Field Healing. Now it has 20 essential questions, but what I like, the questions are good too, but what I also like is it first has like 4 rules on what kinds of questions to ask in general. So the most specific language, number 1, the most specific language you can manage. Not which career path is right for me, but is career X the right option for my highest good and healing? Keep your questions self-focused. Asking about others is a form of prying. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true, but it is. This is about your path. This is about your improvement. So what other people are doing is kind of like gossip. You know what I mean? It's not really that relevant. So it's not about, is my ex dating someone else? Is my partner cheating on me? Is in my best interest to get back together. Time specific questions, number 3. So instead of what I did or said in the past, was that the right thing? Should be, what would be helpful for me to know about myself right now? What do I need to? So it's, here I am right now. Where do I need to go in the future? I think that's fairly useful. I don't really see any problem with reflecting on the past to see if there was a lesson to be learned. So I'm not entirely sure that's. I wouldn't dwell on the past, or try not to dwell on the past. But if you can learn a lesson from your mistakes, I think that's, and you can use divination to see if there are lessons in your mistakes. But I don't know. I've never done that personally. It's been, well, I guess technically, if I make an offering, was my offering acceptable? That's kind of like a looking back a little bit into the past. But generally, it should be now and the future focused. I would agree with that. Take responsibility for yourself. Whoops. Take responsibility for yourself. Okay. So again, this is kind of like that other point of, digging into other people. That's like gossip or whatever. It's not about them. It's about you. Why did so-and-so do this to me? What can I do to contribute? Or I need guidance. So it's not about them. It's about you. So then they've got 20 questions you can go into, and some other stuff about reading. So this is mostly tarot focused, but this is all general, generally applicable. So let's talk about, it's about tarot and oracle cards, but again, it's fairly generally applicable. So the next one I have is Tarot by Hillary. So again, tarot focused, but divination is divination. Different kinds of divination are better for different kinds of questions, and so tarot does have a certain way of answering a certain kinds of questions that I think it's more useful for, but still it's divination. It's divination. It's still talking to the deeper self, or the the universal wisdom, or the wiser self, however you want to phrase it. All right. But this has some good advice too, I think. The less will, if, yes, no, more what, how, why. Okay. So Um, yeah, I don't like to do yes or no or will this happen or won't this happen or anything like that. It's more useful to focus on what's the best thing for me to do. So to me it should be more about what do I do, and that's why I was like on the should questions on the other. It's like, you know, what direction should I take? What's best for me to do? What's best for me to focus on? What's best for me to look at? That kind of thing. So I guess this is kind of tarot specific. Be focused on motivation. Yeah, what do I need to know right now? If you have time-sensitive question, bake it into the phrasing of the questions, and then it has some sample questions. Be a Magical has this article, How to Ask Good Divination Questions. Let's see. I don't remember what I liked about this article. Let's see. Yeah, you see, okay, what do I do? So this is like kind of different advice from the other one, which said, you know, don't ask should I. I may be being overly harsh on that one, but so, for example, when am I getting married is not a good question, but should I propose with this or my beloved's favorite crystal is a good one. So should I do this? Good question is one that asks what the current situation is, why it is the way it is, what you can do to make it better. All right. So that's how I use divination, and it is, how do I say it? Every time I do divination, it surprises me. You know, and I don't know why it should surprise me, because I mean, it's almost like a part of me still doesn't really believe, and I guess that's true. But it's like, I don't know why wouldn't I believe? Why would I believe that it's doing what I'm saying it's gonna do? But it just amazes me. But I think that's a sign that it works, is that it tells you something that is surprising. That you receive a deeper message that you're like, aha, and that's the point, I guess, is that it surprises you, and that if you're doing it right, it's going to give you, because any kind of deep answer is kind of like an aha light going off kind of a thing. But it just, I don't know. It continues to amaze me. It's an incredible thing. So, all right. Well, anyway, enough of me rambling. See you later.